Hey, hey, happy Tuesday at 2. Circle B Diecast here in Concord, North Carolina, talking NASCAR, talking diecast. We are having a great time, and we are glad that you have joined us. Let's see, Zachary's on the pole position. John, Alex, Scott, and Victor, your top 5 starters here. And if you have a NASCAR-related question, type it right in there. We'll talk a little NASCAR today, and we'll chit-chat about that. It is a great time. Coming off Throwback Weekend, and then the Dryden 400 at the Monster Mile. Most importantly, Victor will be there on Sunday. Woohoo! Sounds good, Victor. We're excited. Glad you're going to be at the racetrack at your beloved Dover International Speedway. It is going to be a good time, that's for sure. What a great time. Oh my gosh, Darlington was awesome. Oh, it was fantastic. And it was really good for everyone else, but it was spectacular for Martin Truex Jr. What a dominating win. I mean, it was just unreal how good that was. So, yeah, Darlington was fun. And Martin Truex Jr. race-winning diecast is available for pre-order. So, pre-order race-winning diecast for Martin Truex Jr. I'm going to get right to it. Alex, my favorite throwback in each series. All right. Let me recall, because we actually did this one on the air in the truck series, and I'm having total brain fade right now. Total brain fade. What was the one in the truck series? Okay, I'll go backward. Maybe I'll think about it. Cup Series. Cup Series is the most frustrating thing on the planet. Okay, I'm just being honest with you here. Every year it's the same car. It's the SDP number 43. I mean, this one was the throwback to John Andretti in his 1999 win at Martinsville. That was really good. I like the Alex Bowman story behind the paint scheme. The story on that was, I remember my truck one. Good news. Now remind me, folks. Now, the Alex Bowman story was a tip to his crew chief, Greg Ives, but it was a Greg car that he got that was a paint scheme of a racer from Wisconsin who died in a qualifying crash. Jim Pagel was the guy's name. And so I love that, because you know me, I love our short track racers. And so I really like that on the Cup side. But the SDP car was good. I also thought Corey LaJoie's Xerox was good. Particularly, Corey showed up in a Xerox fire suit and did some Alan Kulwicki stuff. They're in the same shop that Alan Kulwicki was in. The Spire Motorsports team was in the same shop. So they've had some fun with that. So I think the Xerox car was really good. So that's my Cup one. The Truck Series. Danny Bones Country Time Lemonade, number 30 truck. That was awesome. That was so neat. I really liked that one. That was great. There was a couple other ones there that I thought were really good, but I think the Danny Bone one to me was really cool, because it was just well done. It looked really good. I also liked the Square D truck. Timothy Peters. I work for Square D. I talk about this with diecast all the time. And but I talk about this in life. Diecast and race cars are experiences. So watching that Square D truck, I did Kenny Wallace's PR on the Cup side, but I knew the folks at Square D when they were with Bobby Hamilton. Great people. And so I like that on the Truck Series, Sky. I tend to lean toward stories, and the story on Josh Williams' Xfinity Series car is just phenomenal, and it was a throwback to a beat up, rusted figure 8 car. And the decals on it were rusty. It was real authentic looking. One fender was a different color. The figure 8 car was a guy from Florida by the name of Rusty Cruz. And Rusty was a figure 8 racer who became an official. Sadly, earlier this year at New Smyrna, there was a fight after one of the races. Rusty was an official, and he got in between it, and he had a medical emergency, and he died, which is like, whoa, you don't like to do it. But so I love that Josh Berry was throwing back to Rusty Cruz figure 8 car with a nod to short track officials. I just think that is so cool. So, and that's what I liked about Alex Bowman's. It was a short track racer. Respect for short track racers is something that's very important to me. And I think that's really cool. When I look at the paint schemes on the Xfinity side, Boy, I'm telling you, the Gatorade car for Michael Annett. Oh, that was so good. That was so good. I did also like the Tire Pros car for Josh Berry, which was the old Dale Jr. 2001 Major League Baseball All-Star Game car. So yeah, I like that there's so many of them. It's just a fun weekend. It just really, really, truly is. I like the Mario Andretti story with Joey Logano's car. That it was his South African Grand Prix win when he had the shell on his Formula One car. I mean, they're just a story after story after story, and I really like them. I really did. It was great stuff. So Alex, I appreciate that, and that is cool. That is good. I really like that. Scott says the hair is on point. Exactly. That is cool. So good. Richie, the Ricky Bobby truck, that was good. Yeah, that Ricky Bobby truck was good. That was a good one too. So fun stuff. And yeah, the Gatorade is done. Richie says the Gatorade one's done. Yeah, you're right. It's done about every year. But boy, something about it on a Nets car. That just looked really good. That looked good. I'll tell you another one that was good. Okay. And again, it's the detail. William Byron's Valvoline. We think of Valvoline and we think another Mark Martin paint scheme. No, it wasn't Mark Martin. It was the paint scheme of Neil Bonnet with Raymock Racing, the old 75 car. I'm in the pits, and one of the longtime crew members for Joe Gibbs Racing come up, or in the garage area. One of the guys comes up and he says, "You see that 24 car?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I started working with Raymock Racing, with Butch Mock and Bob Rahilly. Their race shop's not too far from where we're at right here with Circle B Diecast. Bob Rahilly is still Rahilly Racing Engines." He said, when I saw the paint scheme and saw the car, I asked him what it was, a throwback to Mark Martin or a throwback to Neil Bonnet. And when they told him it was Neil Bonnet, he said, "There's one little detail of that car they did not do." Then he walked over the car and he said, "They did it." The numbers on that car were very wide, the text numbers. And the 24, the numbers were very wide. The 75 car, the numbers were wide. And when that old time crew guy said to me, he said, "I walked over and I looked at that 24. I thought there's no way they got that little detail of how wide the numbers were," and they did. That to me, that's what I love about Throwback Weekend, is when you get that little side story, that little sidebar, or what it meant to that crew member, or what it meant to that family of that racer, or that family, that official. I love those stories of Throwback Weekend. So I could go on all day. Throwback Weekend was great at Darlington. It really was, and it was fantastic. It truly was. That was really, really good. Good stuff. Gatorade Throwback is done. Okay. The Off-White made the 24 pop. Yeah, Richie, it did. That car, that was one of those that you look at on the surface, okay, another, because they do a Valvoline car every year, you know, but then when you get the little details, it just looks good. I love the Kyle Larson one, that it was on the car, it was his original colors of his original go-kart. But on the car was MAJ1K, okay? Mike is his dad, Andrea's his sister, Janet's his mom, and the 1K was Kyle's number. And Magic Racing is what they called their team. I love the details on it, and that's why the Throwback Weekend is one of my favorites. And as I said when I started, Throwback Weekend might have been one of my favorites, but for Martin Truex Jr., wow, it was impressive. What an impressive run for Martin Truex Jr. And yes, again, that race-winning diecast is available. But my producer here, Kyle, and I got thinking about it, and he said, "You know, we got a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Why don't we celebrate Truex a little bit?" So that's what we're doing. We've got some Martin Truex Jr. stuff, very small quantities. So right now, drop everything and get this. This is the 2020 Sirius XM car, autographed by Martin Truex Jr. I said small quantities, 6. Right now, I'm going to get on the horn and get that thing ordered up. All right. This is the Bass Pro Shop patriotic car from 2020, from last year. We have a whopping 6 of that. We have 4 of this one. 4. Martin Truex Jr. So get that. All right. Next up, this is the Auto Owners car. Okay. But on the back deck is the Martin Truex Jr. Foundation Sherry Strong logo. So this is the Sherry Strong car from last year, auto owners. Sherry is Sherry Pollock's, Martin's longtime girlfriend, who is just in a long-term battle with cancer. And it's just when you think she's good, she's not. And just when you think she's not, she's good. Sherry Strong is perfect because she's maybe one of the strongest people that I've ever encountered. So this is the Sherry Strong one. 642 of these. So you need to get that today. The Martin Truex Jr. Sherry Strong car. Autographed by Martin Truex Jr. And again, certificate of authenticity. Make sure with every autographed diecast, whether it's RCCA, whether it's Action, whether it's Lionel, or whether it's Circle B diecast, Plan B sales, make sure, because that means that Martin's pen in his hand touched this windshield. Certificate of authenticity. So we have the cars, and that is really, really cool, the cars. All right, a hat. This is the camo hat. Look at the hat. Isn't that good? That's a good-looking cap. Okay, we got number 19, NASCAR logo, American flag on that. 9 in stock right now. 9 in stock. Up here. Oh, easy, man. I'm throwing things around here, busting things up. All right, this is the Martinsville race-winning t-shirt. Picked up that win. We have 5 total. 2 large, 2 XL, and 1 2X. Look at that. Martin Truex Jr. The Martinsville winning t-shirt. So get that right now. Okay? Over here. This is the Bass Pro Shop Driven for a Cure. Also, again, the Sherry Strong Martin Truex Jr. Foundation logo on it. There we go. Martin Truex Jr. t-shirt. Okay? We've got 4 of these. We got 1 large, 2 3X, and 1 big boy shirt, 4X size. Get those. Everything you get, use promo code MRN for orders $20 or more, and we'll throw in the shipping for free. Promo code MRN, Motor Racing Network. Something I'm very familiar with. So, yeah. So we've got these little onesies and twosies and foursies and fivesies here. So order them up. Let's get it. Martin Truex Jr. Let's get these things ordered. Get these things out of here, so we can make more shelf on the room, more space on the shelves, because we got more stuff coming in. We're not just, the Chinese New Year's over. Boats are coming across here. Trucks are coming across the country. Stuff is starting to come in. It's an exciting time. It really is. So, yeah, fun stuff. So Truex diecast, Truex race winner from Darlington as well as available. Hats and shirts. That's what we have. While you're doing it, throw in one of those Plan B shirt sales. Just throw one of those in the order right there. If you need to get it to $20 to get the free shipping, yeah, throw in a shirt. Throw in a 1/64th diecast. Oh, you kidding me? We got all kinds of trinkets and everything else. And on orders of $20 or more, promo code MRN. Neat stuff. Let's see what I missed here. Inside of NASCAR, working with Lionel next gen to make sure they have the specs soon enough. The car was just unveiled last Wednesday. I know no details on it, Matt. It's a great question, and it's a question we're all wondering. Lionel, I am fairly confident, has reached out to get the specs, and I'm sure that they're fine-tuning the specs with the manufacturers and to make sure that they have the molds so that we can get the diecast as soon as possible. I hate that ASAP is the answer, but ASAP is the answer, and I don't know if that means December or March. We just don't know. It's way too early. These teams don't even have the cars, so and Lionel is a step behind the teams because of just because they've got to agree on the car specs. But it's a great question, Matt. I would say if you're on our email list, I'm sure that over the course of time, we'll start to see things come in and pre-orders. And once we start getting pre-orders, we'll get delivery times and we'll be able to see, so we'll just have to see what happens. It's neat. Alex, a little upset the Wood brothers didn't do a throwback. Reach out and talk to them. They're in Stewart, Virginia. I mean, the challenge with the Wood brothers is what do you? Oh, I'll tell you the throwback I liked. Okay, the Wood brothers. Here's the reality, and here's where I'm at, Alex. I would love to do a Steve Post throwback, but if John Menard wants to sponsor Steve Post at that race at Darlington for hundreds of thousands of dollars, John, tell me what I need to wear. Tell me how I need to do my hair. Tell me what I need to do. I get it. Maybe it was a Paul Menard throwback. Ha, maybe that's it. No, I understand it. I love when the Wood brothers do it, but Got to pay the bills too. Got to pay the bills, and so that's the deal. I love. Okay, how about this one? How about this one? Friday night. Okay, Eric Darnell returns to racing. He hadn't raced since I think 2008. The Nice truck opened up, which Nice trucks tend to do, because they do that with their driver rotation. They've got Carson Hocevar as one of their one of their regular guys. Brett Moffitt was there, but he's no longer doing it. So trucks are opening and moving around. That's I love what Al Nice does with it. So they reached out to Eric Darnell, and Eric said, "Wow, that's throwback weekend." He reached out to Northern Tool, which is his old sponsor back in the day with Roush Fenway Racing, and Northern Tool said, "Let's fire it up for one more time." And so it was an Eric Darnell throwback truck with the original throwback driver in the truck. I love that. I really do. That is cool. Exactly. Let's see. What do you think about Corey's product paint scheme for this weekend? I think the Dryden is always good because they just keep it really simple. Big red and white car with some black trim. I'm assuming that's what it is. That's what it's been all along. And it's always good. It's always a good looking car. That's for sure. There we go. That's right, Victor. The Postman paint scheme. Exactly. What we just need is a big old prime rib buffet right down the side of that bad boy. And we got you covered. And nice hair flowing in the breeze. There you have it. I'm glad you joined us here. Martin Truex Jr., onesies, twosies, foursies, fivesies, and sixies. We've got them all here. One thing we've got a large quantity of is the pre-order race-winning Darlington car. Make sure you get that. Martin Truex Jr., he is rolling. By the way, those wins, for those of you keeping score, Phoenix, Arizona, Martinsville, Virginia, Darlington, South Carolina. If he comes back in the fall, Darlington, kickoff race, round number 1. Thus far, he hasn't run at any of the tracks in round number 2. Round number 3, next to last race, Martinsville, Cha-Ching championship round is Phoenix. Martin Truex Jr. does in the fall what he did in the spring. The only way he's not a champion is a disastrous, colossal failure round number 2. Because if he makes it to round number 3, then there's Martinsville and Phoenix. Isn't that cool? It's cool if you're that team. If you're everyone else, you're saying, whoa, 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 Truex. Put the brakes on it. Pump the brakes on it. That's pretty cool. So we have his race winner from Darlington as well. Hey, I'm the Postman, Steve Post from Motor Racing Network. Thanks for joining us. Remember, all your diecast needs, www.circlebdiecast.com.